Are you the kind of person who brings your uninvited partner to a one-on-one lunch date? Well, if you are, then you're in good company. Today we'll be sharing stories from our past, playing some games, and maybe even performing a live sketch or two. Let's pay far too much for your main meal on steak night. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for three old friends to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Dion, under the covers with Christian.
Welcome to Patchwork.
And Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork.
Now, guys, before we get started, I just wanted to give a little update on something we spoke about a few patches ago, namely LCMs.
Oh, thank God, I've been waiting for this.
LCMs and what they stood for. And if you remember, I said this.
What did LCM stand for?
Lowest common denominator.
No, I think it actually was just LCM. It was
Really?
just like a marketing thing.
That's not true.
I think it is.
You don't just have acronyms for the sake of acronyms.
That's true, Josh. You're an idiot. LCM must have stood for something.
No, not necessarily.
Why?
Why?
Because it's a marketing thing and made people go, oh, I wonder what it stands for. It must be good for my kids because it's an acronym.
Oh, wow.
That is so dumb.
So I said it's an acronym. They just used it as a marketing campaign. And I got laughed out of the building.
Absolutely,
didn't I?
because LCM, well, did you look it up, Dan? I haven't looked it up yet.
I didn't look it up. I was waiting for this patch.
Well, you know what I did, guys? I looked it up.
Josh has looked it up, Christian.
So,
Oh, no, he's happy.
and do you know who makes LCMs? What company?
Kellogg's.
Kellogg's,
Well,
yeah.
let's just go to kellogg's.com.au, shall we, and see what they say there. Someone posed the question, what does LCM stand for? Is it an acronym or just three letters put together?
What is it, Josh?
Great question.
Thank
You've
you.
hit on one of life's little mysteries. We've heard it could be little crunchy munchies or light crispy morsels.
Oh.
The truth is, it doesn't actually stand for anything at all. We wanted to find a name that was catchy and a bit different, and LCM seemed to hit the mark. We wish we had a better story for you, but we just like the way the letters sounded together. Thank you so much.
That is bizarre.
I hate that you were right, Josh. I hate that.
Yeah.
That means that nothing makes sense anymore. Names don't need to have any purpose at all.
I'm surprised that they revealed that it didn't mean anything. I thought they'd want to keep that under wraps like all the big companies, fast
Yeah.
food companies do with their ingredients.
Does that mean that the special K doesn't mean anything? What's the K?
I don't know, but maybe they had regular K. They just...
Do you know what annoys me also about companies? Is that they feel like they can do whatever they like with the English language. You know what? LCMs were... Maybe they were eating alphabet soup and the three just kind of floated there. But recently, one of the brands of hummus that I love eating...
What a great segue.
One of the brands of hummus that I like eating, actually I love eating because it's gluten-free, it's dairy-free, and it's absolutely delicious.
Why do
Okay.
you need gluten-free and dairy-free? Are you intolerant to gluten? Are you intolerant
No.
to dairy? So why did you say that you love their two features? Because they're reasons.
No, because without the dairy, so it's cruelty-free, and then also it's gluten-free, which means something, but I'm saying it still tastes... Wait. It still tastes equally as delicious as other hummuses.
No, but do you think that they made the decision to make it? I reckon after they made the product, they were like, oh, this is gluten-free as well. Well, let's market that.
No, because-
Christian just wants to make sure no gluten was harmed.
Yes, but... So Pilpel is the name of the hummus.
Pilpal.
Pilpel.
PayPal.
Palpal.
So Elon Musk developed the hummus?
So Pilpel is the name of the hummus, and I was buying it going, this is the greatest hummus I've ever had in my life, and continuing to buy it until I read, I was like, it is a hummus. But then I looked closely at the label, and I saw, so how, can I ask you, Dion, your family has a Jewish descent. How would you traditionally spell hummus?
HOOO. Hummus. No, it's a great question. I've got very strong feelings about this.
Good.
Even though hummus is not Jewish.
But a lot of hummus is consumed in Israel.
Let's not be anti-Semitic about this. I would spell hummus. I think I'd spell HUMWS.
HUW?
Double-
A W?
No, I think that's how you spell it, isn't it?
You?
Yeah.
Got two U's in
I
there.
think that's how you spell it.
When in any word,
Surely
apart
there
from
is.
vacuum, has there been two U's put together?
Hummus.
Are you sure you're not trying to spell it H-U-M-M?
How do you spell it the Italian way?
Traditionally, when I have consumed hummus, it's H-U-M-M-U-S.
Okay.
Sometimes people will go H-O-M-M. Hummus.
How did
right?
these guys do it?
Pilpel, out of nowhere, decided to put a H-U-M-M-O-U-S.
Yeah.
Hummus. Because they're trying to find themselves a niche in the market. So like, you know what? We'll spell hummus completely differently to everyone else.
Unless it's a thing of like, it's not actually real hummus. It's like, no, it's a different thing.
Yeah.
And they get around.
Dairy-free and gluten-free.
Yeah, so like it's not actually hummus.
I love if you went to the supermarket and said, do you have any hummus here? No, we don't have hummus. We've got hummus, though.
I can't believe it's not hummus.
So last weekend, my girlfriend was meeting a friend that she hadn't seen in absolutely ages. And she was really looking forward to seeing this friend, but she was surprised when she arrived for brunch that her friend had just brought his girlfriend along. And I don't understand, and this isn't a criticism of him because he may be a listener of the podcast, but I don't understand that mindset that people get in where they think that their partner is just this appendicitis, where they think that their partner is just an attachment to them and they can just bring them along whenever they want.
That seems really rare to me. I don't think I've...
Really?
You've heard about that before.
It's happened to me.
They've
number
just
of
brought
occasions.
people along.
And sorry to cut off your story, Dion.
That's okay,
It's happened. So polite. It's happened to me at the hands of the same person. I gave him a second chance and was very explicit.
Wow.
Just you and me?
Yeah, let's just you and me grab some dinner.
That's
and
amazing.
then boom, girlfriend was there again.
Because obviously, if you want to meet up with someone, there's shared stuff you have with that person. You might not know the partner as well, but there are specific things you might want to talk to them about without the help of another person. But I also think it's just very disrespectful.
It's those people who, when they get in a relationship, me and I disappears. That's out of vocabulary. It's now we and us. That completely replaces it.
That's so interesting. What do you think of those people in relationships that say or people that get married that say that they've married their best friend?
I'm very clear on this.
This is, be careful. Tread lightly, guys.
We are so sorry, Patchworkers. We are going to alienate most of you, but please stay on for the ride. We promise it's funny.
I joke with my girlfriend a lot about this, and I'm like, you are not my best friend.
Yeah.
Really?
At all.
There's a difference.
Wow.
There
So
is a
you are my
difference.
partner.
Yeah, there's a difference between a partner who you love and
Hang
cherish
on.
and your
Wait.
best friend.
We're not going to alienate anyone. So you are both saying that your partner and your best friend are distinct entities.
Yes, they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can they be one and the same?
Nope.
No.
That is madness. You're both idiots then, and it shows how immature you are. Okay, so what I imagine...
Sorry, Dad.
Obviously, none of us are married.
Obviously.
Because we've never said my wife. We've always said my girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, I imagine if you're getting married, then you must be so invested in this other person. They must know you so well, the ins and outs of you, the ups, the downs, the everything, that's who you consider to be your best friend.
No.
Why would you marry? Then marry your best friend.
No, because I don't want to marry my best friend. I want to marry my partner.
But your partner becomes your best friend.
No, they don't. The partner includes all that shit if you want it to.
Are you saying, Christian, that if you were to marry your current girlfriend, then she would become your best friend?
No. Not become. The ceremony of marriage is not the officiating of best friends.
Do you take this person to be your best friend?
No.
It's a very low threshold,
No,
isn't
the
it?
idea is by the time you're ready to marry, you have learned so much of it and fostered this great relationship of lovers and friends.
My issue is that there are some things that I will talk about with some friends that I wouldn't talk about with my partner and vice versa. So to me, they're distinct things.
That doesn't mean that one is a better friend than the other. They're just different types of people that you interact with.
No, but the words best friend denotes a particular class of person in your life. There's no need to transfer that particular class onto someone that you're sleeping with.
No, but
Let's be honest, that's the main difference.
Well, I mean, like...
Guys, the three of us, if we could. Words have the ability to change us, to shape us, and define us. These new words are unlike anything we've ever delivered before. We want to bring you new words to enhance your vocabulary. Now, we want to bring you this with the power of Patchword of the Day. Christian, you're going to kick us off with your Patchword of the Day.
The innocent bystander walked out of the cinema, and in front of him he saw a man lying in a pool of his own blood. Observing the stab wounds, he ran next to him and shouted, "Are you okay?" "Call an ambulance." "I'm sorry?" "Call an ambulance." "I'm sorry?" "Call an ambulance." "Hey, next time, try to
Articulate.
The patchword of the day is...
Articulate.
Dion, what's your patchword of the day?
The old man was struggling with his tools in a desperate attempt to create a picture frame for his wife's 70th birthday. He was in a hurry because she'd arrive home soon. It'd be so much easier if the screws he were using were...
Magnetic.
Patchword of the day is...
Magnetic.
And my patchword of the day starts like this. Now, I was in the car with my pregnant wife. We were rushing on our way to hospital. The waters had broken. It was chaos. You know, I'm speeding on it. We get to the highway and it's all backed up and it's blocked. And the cops are like, wave. I'm like, oh my God, I need to get there. This is crazy. And I wave to the cop and he comes over and I go, what? I need to get my wife. She's pregnant. She's ready. He goes, I'm sorry. There's a big...
Obstruction.
The patchword of the day is...
Obstruction.
Dion, do you remember the last time you dropped your phone?
Yeah, I do, actually. I don't usually drop my phone, but I've done it a few times. But the last time I did it was I put my phone on top of my car and I drove off.
Really?
And it dropped.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a real pain in the ass.
Did it crack?
It cracked immediately, and isn't that the most awful thing in the world? Picking up your phone, it's face down, and going, oh, yep, cracked it. But isn't it also the best thing in the world when it's not cracked?
Is it your impulse immediately to go, yeah, I'm going to get this done at a cheap phone replacement place, $100, it'll be done?
Yes.
Or do you go, I'm going straight to Apple or Google, whatever?
The most annoying thing about this particular example of dropping my phone was that I had bought a case 2 weeks earlier, which I thought was the perfect medium between protection for my phone and it was also a magnetic, but also a magnetic wallet as well.
Magnetic.
And I thought it was such a great combination of wallet plus phone, but it had no protection qualities.
So, Dion, how long ago was this roughly? A few years or something?
This was a couple of months ago.
A couple of months ago?
Yeah, it was a pain in the ass.
Wow.
Yep.
So is that a common occurrence, dropping your phone? Or it was like really rare for you? Like, I can't believe I did that.
It's happened a few times, but now I've got a really good case on my phone, a really good tempered glass screen protector. I believe Christian's talked about tempered glass and how erotic that process was when someone at a store actually put it on for him. Christian, when was the last time you dropped your phone?
I can't remember really, but I do recall breaking my screen a few times in a very short period of time, and that frustrated me so much. And then you, Dion, looked at me and said, why don't you just get a case and a screen protector?
Yep.
And I couldn't find a good reason to not do it.
Yeah. I wonder if there's someone in this room that could find a reason to not put a screen protector in a...
I wonder, Dion.
I wonder, should we go to Josh next, Christian?
Sure, Josh.
Josh, when was the last time you dropped your phone?
It would have been a few years. My last phone a few years ago, I put it on top of a mantelpiece, like just above the fireplace.
And it drove off.
And it was just like crappy. It was a crappy one and it was like on an angle and it just slid off onto the bricks below.
That's
and
weird.
I came back to that. I was like, that's hell. I'm never putting my phone on a slanted surface ever again.
Wow, man of principle, isn't he? But Josh, you have a very interesting thing that we were alluding to before. You don't put cases on your phone.
No.
And you don't put screen protectors on your phone.
No.
Why is that, idiot? Josh?
Because I take care of my things. So those
No, you don't.
It's not about you. This is what you're missing, is sometimes accidents happen, Josh. And I hate how much of a cocky asshole you are with your phone.
I mitigate those accidents.
No, when I said to you, why don't you have a case for your phone? You're like, that's not the way that it was made.
Yep.
I like when my phone is the way that it's
It
designed
is
to
so
be held.
nice and slim, feels good in the hand, slides in the pocket. Beautiful.
Yes, and when the accident happens, it's more likely to break. Why not mitigate against that? Buy a case, put a screen protector
I'll tell you
on.
why, because I'm not going to leave it on my car before I take off.
Can I tell you something that my brother does? My brother has a case. He has a screen protector on the back, a screen protector on the front, and something else he does is he doesn't use the iPhone button.
Doesn't use the phone.
He doesn't use the phone. He doesn't use the iPhone button. He uses the on-screen assistive touch thing.
Is it broken?
No, it's not.
It works?
It works. He just wants to be able to resell it and he doesn't want to wear out the
That's
button.
nuts.
Oh,
I
come
think
on.
that is one of the most mental things I've ever heard.
Don't buy the phone.
And like, if your parents
Yes.
did, if your parents did something like that, you'd be like, "Oh, bloody boom!" Or I'd be like, "Oh, bloody boomers! What the hell are they doing?" But this is my blood. This is my blood brother who does this, and it's very, very confusing. I don't know why he does it.
Why buy anything then? You're supposed to buy
Yeah.
it to enjoy it. Put your enjoyment at the front.
It's
at
so
the top of the
strange.
list.
That happened with my car mats in my car. I was like, so there's two versions of car. There's like the ones that came with the car, the kind of fabric and
stock.
Yeah, stock ones. And then for Christmas or whatever, my parents bought me some rubber ones, like a bit more durable and take some stuff.
yeah.
And on it, very clearly says,
Ansel made car mat.
very clearly it says, take off the other mats and just put these on. I was
Ah.
like, great, cool, I'll do that. But why are you taking the mats off? It says to take off the carpet mats and just have the rubber ones because they don't fit properly with
Yes.
it. No, you've got to protect the protective mats.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
What?
It's
Yeah.
really weird.
So it's about protecting the protective mats.
Bizarre.
It's just like you've got to protect. It's like if you put a screen protector on a screen protector. That's what they want me to do.
That's the whole idea behind ethnic families having plastic on
Yeah.
their couches. Just the pants isn't enough. They want a second level of protection from your bottom.
It is weird though, like with expensive stuff like that, the idea is it has to be in pristine condition.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
number of phones that I see that are completely cracked and stuffed, and it's like this $900 thing in your pocket is too expensive to be sitting around in your pocket and you don't care enough about it because you pay it off $80 a month.
Would you ever be that kind of person that cracks their screen and then continues to use the phone whilst the screen is heavily cracked?
No, I don't think so.
Do you judge people for that, Christian, if they
yes,
do
I
that?
do, of
Yeah.
course.
Well, what's your judgment? They don't have enough money, low socioeconomic status? What is it, Christian?
No, it's a case of stop being so lazy. Get it done. Like, I have
Yeah.
so many irks with my girlfriend because, like, I've said it before, she's like 16,000 emails and her phone's really slow because it's old. And I say, hey, there's very simple solutions, but it's not a priority for her.
Yeah.
You know what? Probably doesn't need to be.
It's really interesting, Christian. I think you can take a leaf out of Andy from last episode. He talked very positively about his girlfriend in some respect.
Sorry, Andy who?
But what you're saying there, Christian, is it's just a priority. And for those people using their cracked phone, it doesn't annoy them enough to change it. They're like, this is okay. And
Yep.
you want to be there the day that they change it and they get the new one and they go, oh my God, this is amazing.
And but you have to control. You can't say, I see?
Yeah.
See how much
Yeah,
easier
yeah.
it is now?
Yeah. The one thing, Josh, I don't get, case I understand, just put a fucking screen protector on it. It's so
Anything-
thin, it won't interfere with the operation of the phone. It doesn't make it thicker. It prevents it from getting
No,
little
Josh.
bite-sized scratches.
No, Josh.
Bite-sized scratch.
Saucy
M&Ms.
morsels. No, Josh.
Those little LCMs on your screen.
Yes, yes.
Josh has a very unique approach to cases. It's case Sarah.
Time again to check in on Mr. Minute, our improvised 50s noir that goes a minute at a time with a fresh cassette tape for this week. And if you remember last time, Mr. Minute was investigating and the clue that he got at the crime scene was a white knight. Took it to the lab, took it to Mr. Lee, and he told
Dr.
him...
Lee.
Dr. Lee, sorry, my mistake. And told him that it was made out of Italian herbs and spices. So that's the lead that Mr. Minute's on now. Christian?
Mr. Minute, solving a crime 1 minute at a time.
I had to work out where these Italian herbs and spices were coming from, so I went to the only place I knew that served them in town, Mr. Chino's Pizzeria.
Hey, welcome to Mr. Chino's Pizzeria. How can I help you today? Hey, Mr. Minute.
Yeah, that's right, Mr. Chino. I got some questions for you.
Oh, Mr. Minute.
And I want some answers.
Hey, I'm innocent. I don't do that stuff no more.
Sorry, just quickly, just before you ask your questions, I just wanted to get the Sunday night meal deal, if that's all right. It's got
One Sunday night meal deal coming
hey,
up.
it's got the
Hey,
pizza
come on,
and the
kid.
garlic bread, I think.
I'm trying to do a police investigation here. Back of the line.
Sorry, I'm very hungry.
Now, Mr. Chino, I got questions and you gotta give me answers.
All right, Mr. Minute. I'll give you the answers, but just remember, my first name is Cap. Cappuccino.
I'll remember that, Mr. Chino.
Now come outside.
All right, Mr. Chino. I want some answers, I'll tell you. I want some answers.
Does it come with the Streets Viennetta or just the pizza?
Once again, it's time to give you guys some Christian? Tales from Tasmania! Now, when we were down in Tassie, my girlfriend and I, we chose, based on our schedules, to go pretty much in the middle of winter. It was off-season. Let's call it that. It was off-season. It was cheap. It was great. But one thing we realised very early on, we started to convince ourselves that that was the best decision we could have made.
Yeah.
And it was like freezing cold everywhere we went, raining a lot of the time. And we're like, geez, we made a great decision, didn't we? Like, yeah, there's just no one around. I mean, there's just no one on the paths, is it? We're dripping with water. I mean, there's so much vacancy everywhere we go. It's just great, isn't it? We're like shivering in our bloody thing.
That is the kind of thing I would try and convince myself as well. But in that situation, yes, there's less people. Yes, you're paying less money. But in terms of the experience, you are getting a lesser experience.
Yeah.
Are you?
You are. I reckon you are.
You're experiencing the same things. You're just a little colder.
But it's outdoors. Like, you're going to Tasmania and you're wanting to experience the outdoors, and it's just like you're not getting that great experience.
Hang on. Josh, was that your core reason for going to Tasmania? To experience the
rain.
great outdoors?
Well, when you're going to see Cradle Mountain and it's obscured by fog, isn't it just great?
Yeah.
Just like you were a few patches like a Christian.
At Mount Snowdon.
Cradle
The tallest mountain in all of Wales.
Cradle Mountain is most of the time obscured as well. So
Yeah.
so you even could have gone at a good time of year, and you see, I'm doing what you were doing.
Well, one of the interesting things
Obstruction.
So even when we were there was still people around, but it was.
Yeah.
I just remember it was just really cold a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, you guys, have you ever done something or bought something maybe, and then tried to convince yourself this is the best decision? I made a bloody good decision here.
Christian, coming from someone who researches the shit out of products before you buy them.
That's correct. I'd say that I'm normally very content with my purchases. And once the purchase has been made, I very rarely will go and research afterwards.
Yeah.
Once the purchase
move
has
on.
been made, that's it. But except for one. Cryptocurrency. And I don't want to get into it, but yes, I invested. And yes, I've lost a lot.
I love he said I don't want to get into it, but you've just revealed absolutely everything about your
But the
experience.
technology is sound.
and it works. It's the future.
The thing that I do it a lot, when you go to a restaurant and you have a good look through and then you see what you want and then they go, oh, sorry, we're sold out of that. And then instantly you've got to convince yourself when you get the new thing, well, it's probably better than that anyway. I mean, they probably run out of fresh ingredients. That's why it's no good. That's why they don't have it.
That's such a good example. I hate being out-ordered at restaurants as well.
Out-ordered?
I can never order the same thing as someone else. I have to order something differently. Isn't that strange?
That is my greatest peeve. You are the second best friend of mine who does this. One of my other friends is paralyzed by it. And I once learnt of this when we were at the same place. And we went to this place for the one reason to order this one particular bagel. And he was like, oh, I'm definitely getting that bagel. I was like, sounds great. I'm going to get that too. And I watched his face drop and he was like, all right, maybe I'll get something else then.
It's weird, isn't it?
We're not sharing the meal. It's okay for you to have the same thing I'm having.
Do you know what it is? I feel like it's a survival instinct. I feel like if one of us is to order the fish, one of us orders the chicken, and the chicken is contaminated, then one of us dies. But it's also it's also not wanting...
That's what they do on planes.
I know. Isn't that what we're talking about?
But why do you do it, Dion? Why? Why can't you have the same meal that the person you're with is having?
Going in your mouth.
And their girlfriend.
It's your experience.
But I think I want to hedge my bets, and I think that there's a part of me that thinks...
How are you hedging your bet? You're not getting the other meal.
No, I might, because there's a part of me that thinks if my meal is really shit, that other person will go, here, you can have half of mine.
Why would they want to give you half of the meal and have half of your shit meal?
Because I'm taking best friends out who care about my well-being.
There's no way that I would take a half a shit meal from you and give you half of mine.
What do you? What about that concept of being out-ordered? Like, I always do that.
Nah,
I'm going...
I make my own decision on my own terms. It doesn't matter what anyone else on the table orders, unless you go, hey guys, should we share?
Christian, do you understand the concept?
Yeah. What do you mean? Do I have to have the concept explained to me further?
I'm not sure. Do you want me to, Christian?
A little. No. I get food envy. That's what you're trying to say. Food envy.
Yeah.
And I get it big time. I always regret my order, and I'll eat it reluctantly. But I like to taste the other meals. I'm happy to have a little nibble.
Josh, if you go to a restaurant and they do shared plates, do you have a problem with that with the share economy?
Yeah.
I feel like you do. I feel like you're just a bastard who's just like, no, I've ordered my meal and this is what I'm going to have. Everyone else can share.
If it's a share place, you go in knowing you're going to share stuff.
You don't love it though, do you?
I'm completely fine with it, but generally there's like one thing that I like the most. It's like, I will take majority of that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So that's my question is to both of you who have brothers.
Yep.
I never had that experience. When you go to a place where you've got share plates, do you recognize and you go, I've got to fight for this. I've got to get what I want and as much of it
No.
immediately.
You're talking about a bloody family of 10.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the case.
I'm presuming if you're raising that, Christian, you have that selfish approach to those situations.
No, I don't. No, I'm very
don't
passive.
you?
I'll let everyone else grab what they want to grab and I'll have the scraps.
I'm very much of the mind of don't feel like there's too much politeness about taking the food. Just get the thing you want to get and be like, oh, like I'll ask, does anyone want the last of that? But I'm like, just take what you want from it. There's too much like umming and ahhing of like, oh, I don't want, maybe someone else wants that. Oh, I'll have the worst one. I used to do that, like with a packet of assorted Arnott's biscuits.
Yep.
I was like, just eat a different one so you maintain some good biscuits at the end.
Oh, wow.
People just go straight for the good ones and you have the crap at the end, and that's what I eat.
What are you going for straight away?
Scotch finger.
Scotch finger.
Yeah, great.
If you're grabbing for anything else in an assortment,
A niece.
idiots.
Christian, bone to pick with Josh.
I got a bone to pick.
Josh, the other night we were having an Indian meal at home. We were preparing for the show. And I asked you whether I could have one of the samosas. And what was your response to me when you replied?
Of course you can.
No, what was it like? So let's do it. Josh, can I have one of these samosas?
Yeah.
And you don't have the benefit.
We're sharing food.
Yeah, I guess that it was such a... And I didn't understand until you said before, just get rid of the niceties.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that. But it was so aggressive. Like, it was such a nice gesture.
It was lovely.
Christian,
It
do
was
you
so
understand-
polite.
Oh, and you understand that better.
Who was being polite? Me or him?
Josh, we're trying to train Dion to be more polite and considerate. And that is not the kind of conditioning we need.
No, I'm
you
saying
can't smack him
you
on
are
the hand.
so far in the right. Absolutely go do it.
You're so right. I'm angry at you.
As if we're trying to train me to be more polite.
Yeah.
Surely Josh is the first trainee off the rank there.
Listen, one step at a time. I'm going to start with you. Josh is next. He's the big case.
Really, really good. You know what's really, really good? Really, really good. You know what's really, really good?
Do you know what's really good? When you receive a phone call whilst driving your car.
Really good. Really good.
Do you know what's really good? Having a really unproductive day of work on a Friday.
Really good. Really good. Do you know what's really good? When you're tying your laces and you pull the loop through and the length is perfectly symmetrical.
Really good. We love hearing your really good, so please post on our Really Good Fridays. We post on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Do you know what Struan Mackenzie thinks is really good? When a normal plastic bag fits perfectly inside a rubbish bin.
Really good.
You know what Yonina Lavab Campbell thinks is really good? When you check Netflix and there are new episodes available to a favourite show you had forgotten about.
Really good.
Really good.
And you know what Mark Conti thinks is really good? When your substitute teacher puts on a movie instead of making you do work.
Really good.
Really good. Really good. You know what's really
Thank you very much for joining us for another patch this week. We have a Patreon page. This is the way that you can support us in our efforts to make this the biggest and most famous, in the funniest and best podcast in Australis. Patreons get exclusive access to other things that we talk about on there. We record extra material for Patreons. We also record videos and behind the scenes stuff that you can see. You can go to patreon.com/welcome to Patchwork. We have different tiers that you can sign up to, and we have very, very generous Patrons that we really appreciate who contribute every month to the show. Also, we have a Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter page. You should know this by now. If you haven't gone to any of those pages, please go and like and follow us there. We'll be posting things that we covered in this patch and others as well. And as we do at the end of a patch, we sew a new patch into our quilt of friendship. Josh, what patch did you sew this week?
Dion, my patch was you bringing your girlfriend along to a brunch date, but leaving her on the top of your car when you drive off. Christian, what did you sew into your patch this week?
Josh, I sewed into my patch me in the supermarket buying my new favourite brand of hummus spelled HUUUUUM283% for US. Dion, what did you sew into your patch this week?
Christian, this week I sewed me at my best friend's Jewish wedding, observing the bride having trouble cracking the glass under her foot because the glassware has a tempered glass screen protector on it. Thank you for listening to Welcome to Patchwork this week. I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
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 I've been Dion.
I've been Josh.
And I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
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 Obstruction.
Goodbye.